We are live. Alrighty. Come on up, everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the Zoom chat. I have the Q&A. I'll also have the chat enabled for everyone. So if you want to see attendees with everyone. So if you are curious on how to do something, you have a question and decisions, feel free to post it. I will answer to the best of my abilities. And if I can, I'll build out a small project and send it to you. Or if we just need to have just a dialogue of, how decisions works in a certain area, feel free to come off mute and we'll talk about all that stuff. Couple of things as you guys are thinking of your questions is we also have the YouTube channel and decisions. We have this decisions training YouTube channel. One thing I want to bring to you guys' attention is we have launched some new videos. We have drop down to scriptures, report designer freeze columns, custom actions, and conditional icons for calculated columns. A lot of new stuff. So 3 new videos dropped within the last 3 hours. It's a very cool, some really good videos. So I encourage you guys to go ahead and go to this channel. I'm going to put it inside of the chat. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And also feel free to give suggestions on what you'd like to see next in the stuff. So that would be very much appreciated. We also have marketplace.decision.com. So it's all example projects. We have some AI co-coaching. We have different other example projects utilizing AI and other different types of accelerators we have in Decision. So feel free to go ahead and check these out and download them. And our solutions team creates more of these so that you can learn more about what's going on in the system and how to use it. Alrighty, with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let's close that and let's go to the questions. We've got a couple. Alex Stewart said, I have the SharePoint module and I want to move a large amount of files to a different place in SharePoint. How do I do this? Let's see. I've already done all the prep and setup. All right. Well, let me give you, let's see, allow you to talk, Alexander, and kind of let's dive right in. I'm not too sure. I'm not familiar with the SharePoint module, but we can poke around and kind of see what we got to do. But I think let's see if there's some steps in in that SharePoint module that we can kind of mess with. Any more context you can give on that, Alex? Like what's the error you're experiencing, or what's the
Hello.
hey?
It's not so much an error. Well, it's just that the steps are kind of weird, right? There's a fetch step, there's also a get step, which to me feel like the same thing, but they do something different. Um, Also, I guess the issue I'm having now is actually pushing the item. So I pulled the item into a list essentially using
Mm-hmm.
the get all document step. And now I have run into a wall where I'm trying to actually push it to the area that I want it to be in. And I can't seem to get that going. Also, I'm assuming that I'm going to have to I don't know if it copies it or moves it, because there's no actual move step. There's only get and then add. So, but when you get something, you also have access to the file. So I'm assuming what's going to happen is I'm going to get it, and then basically it's going to copy that file into the new folder, and I'm going to have to delete the old one, which is fine. But
Sure. That's a good question. Not sure. Let's just create a flow and see. Oh, I gotta attach it to this. I gotta attach it.
can you still hear me?
Dependencies. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, nothing. I was just updating my
Oh, okay.
speaker.
Got that in there. So let's go ahead, create flow. We'll say test this thing. And let's go to all steps in SharePoint. I think it's an integration. Integration, there should be SharePoint. Yep, SharePoint steps. So a SharePoint add document and delete steps. Get document. Okay. So we got this one, ignore folder name, document name, and what does it output? So it actually outputs the data. So are you asking,
Yeah.
what does it do?
No, I'm asking how do I actually add it because I've run into that issue where I can't seem to add it to my SharePoint. Um, it's not.
So so how is the data coming into it?
So I'm pulling it from a SharePoint,
Okay.
so I have access to it, to the folder, and I'm just going to push it to another folder. I mean, there's going to be
Okay.
some logic along the way, but I mean, in the simplest terms, I just need to move this file to another folder. That's all.
I gotcha. So I think basically what you would do is you would leverage these two steps. You would say, let me get this document and then let me add this document. And then once you've confirmed it's there, I think then you would delete that document from that old settings area. Because yeah, what
Oh,
decision does, it just gets that file, outputs the file data. And I think then you would just, the documents here, attach the library, and then make sure you add your settings. And I think this is kind of the setup of what would happen
oh
for
yeah,
it.
I totally agree. It's just something about the point at the add document step just seems not to be. I don't know. I don't know how to fill this part out. Also, if you get a specific library, it'll give you more specific steps as well. So the steps you have are the basic steps right now. But if
Mm-hmm.
you actually go and add the data type, um,
And like the settings or something. I know I don't have really a SharePoint to demonstrate on this, so I wouldn't know.
oh, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
If you have there's a data structure you actually get access to that you can create. But if you don't have a SharePoint, then you can't really add
Yeah.
it.
Is it when, so you're saying is it in this part where you're like,
Yeah,
but
so
there's got to be some error. So when you added it and you ran it, did it go down the error path or did it go down the
it
success path?
did go down the error path. Give me 1 second, I'll tell you
Yeah, if you
what
could
the
run that and
error
just post
was.
that in there, because I'm curious what that, because that'll help me kind of determine what's
Okay.
the issue
I
here.
guess my question is, it says folder name, but then it says document library and document name. What is the
Mm-hmm.
folder name? Like, is that the actual, like, I can't think of the word, the location, right? Am I putting the location there? Or
Let's see. SharePoint settings. We got authentication. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see what this one says. SharePoint add document. So it's the document that allows users to choose the name of the document library, and the folder input is automatically set to ignore. That's not helpful. I know this is set to ignore, but like I wonder what pulls. So it looks like this. If you attach the library, that probably lets you to choose that. But I'm
yeah,
wondering what I would test out is don't put the document library. Leave the folder name to ignore and just select the document, like give it a name or something, right? And see if that gets some information from there. Let's see, because it usually add, or that's the add enables. Oh, after are these all the steps you're talking about? Folder exists, get
yeah,
all.
those are the ones you get after doing all the special stuff, which they, I don't know, they're a little weird. And there's not a lot of math stuff. Seems like you have to do a lot of for loops, but anyway, I'll try that and see if that works.
Okay. Yeah. Did you post the error? Well, if you can, just post the error. I'll look at it because it probably will let us know like what's missing, and I can interpret the decisions gobbledygook for you. I just don't have. I don't know what those things are from a SharePoint perspective.
Gotcha. All right. I'll get that for you in just a sec, and
Okay.
you're good. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. All right, so that's that one. All right, Joe, I found a way to include the folder ID in a link so that if a user clicks the link outside decision starts and takes them to the proper folder. My issue is that I have three folders based on three types of roles. I don't want to have three links. So I decided on a welcome page. If I use the welcome page, I believe you can use a navigate folder step. Navigate folder step requires folder ID and the name of the page. Do I just type in the name of the page for that stuff? I'll give you permission to talk, Joe. Oh, let's see. I have issue with the tutorials. What you could do, um, there's a couple of things you got here. What you could do is for each group of of people. So let's say I have, right, different folders. And I got this is for group A and this is for group B, right? And we'll just do two.
Yep.
Just to keep it nice and simple. What you can do is in your security and groups, let's say I add a group and I'll call it group A just to be consistent. Group A. What you can do is anyone that's in the default group A, you can say, hey, your default folder that you log into will be group A, right? And so now what I can do, let me go ahead and let me add a page to group A. And then I'll also, man, this bug's been flying around my desk. I don't know where it comes from. Now, if you can add, let me just create a really quick page to add to that folder, and we'll say this is group A page, and then I'm just going to do an accounts report because we can easily see that.
What would happen though if they have all this set up and they go into a separate application, a completely different application? Would this also apply?
Would this also apply? So you want a page that has access to like multiple different.
No, I think that the three folders that you're making with the three pages are inherent to one application. That's fine. And
Mm, correct.
when you get into that application with a link with the folder ID, it'll take you right to that folder, no problem. But like
Correct.
I said, I don't want to have three links, so I want to
Mm-hmm.
have one place where I guess everybody would go, and then based upon what they when they click the, like the start button or begin or whatever the button you assign,
Mm-hmm.
that it would realize who you are, go through a truth table, say you're an admin, and then send you to the admin page, the admin folder, if you will.
Right.
Or if you're an attorney or whatever, you click the button and it realizes from your email that you're an attorney, and therefore it takes you to a second, different page, different, you know,
Yeah.
folder, public folder. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I'm trying to do.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm trying to communicate is that this grouping, like if you have in your project, right, instead of it being group A, let's say it's lawyers, right? So I have
Right.
lawyers, right? And then I say their default folder is group B. Then all I have to do is if Jared's email comes in, hey, check what group Jared's a part of. Oh, he's a part of lawyers. Oh, hey, lawyers have this default ID folder, this. And then you can get that from a variable dynamically. So then all you're evaluating is someone's group affiliate, and then you can get the entity folder ID from there. So let me show you that in a flow so you can see how we get that information. So if I go ahead, let's do get default folder for group, right? And I could say, let me just fetch my groups, fetch entities. And I could say group. And so because I fetched this group thing, right? And I can add a, a filter that says, hey, only for the accounts for, for Jared. But if I go ahead and debug this to get my groups, what you'll see here is that I have this property called default folder ID, which
Hmm.
on some of them is null. But if I go to, this is administrators, that's also null. Use, it's a, not that one, not that one. Error, group A. See how the default folder ID is this ID. So
Yeah.
now you can pass that in as a variable to your step that you have, and then it will route people to that dashboard since that's stored in this database.
Okay. And the other way with the navigate folders step, it's requiring two parameters. One is a folder ID and the
Mm-hmm.
other one is a page name.
Yep.
Is that just like the go to there, get the page name, type it in?
Yeah, exactly. So if there's a specific page name, you can type it in, or is there a way you could probably let's here's another thing you can do because yes, so I think it was it's called navigate folder. Is that what you're
Yeah.
utilizing?
Yeah.
Navigate to folder. Yeah, right here. So if I did this, yeah, so I grab the folder ID. Let's say I grab, sure, I'm gonna grab the first one first. Default, I missed it. It was here. Default folder ID. Oh, there we go. Yeah, default folder ID string, boom. And then for the page name, I can just type in the page that I call. So that could be called lawyer's page.
Okay. So it's
Or it
actually just the page name that's in the folder.
exactly. Or, and I think what you can do is if I fetch the folder, fetch folder. Let me attach a page to this, or fetch entities. And I could say, hey, I want to do another fetch, but this time instead of fetching, you know, the group, I actually want to fetch the folder. And so I'm going to go fetch entities. I'm going to say the criteria that I want for this one is group A equals to, and then I'll just say as a constant, group A. And then I'm going to pass that default folder ID as the filter for the folder ID. Fetching folder ID, flow data, and then we get any results first, and I think it's all the way down, default folder ID. Cool. And then I believe we can get all of the contents. Can I get what's inside a folder? I'm trying to think. There's a way to get it dynamically. I may have to. Let's say, well, we got time. Let's figure this out. Because if I fetch this, what this is going to do, let me just debug this, and obviously it's going to break at that step. But over here, I got my default folder ID. Cool. Then I have my folder. It grabbed it. But then, oh, that's what it is. Okay. It's not where, okay. So I just need to find out where that page data lives. Let me add that page and I'll be able to find what type it is. So I got my group A page. And then I could say, okay, cool. I want to go ahead and let me add this group A page there. Pick a page, group A page, perfect. Now what this does in the folder view is it actually saves the, it actually saves in the folder view, it saves a hidden, and there's the group age and page data type. So what that means is if I know I have certain pages, can I add more of the types? Entity type name. So decisions framework page data. So if I wanted to grab that, let me paste this here. Then what I think I can do, oh my goodness. Boom. All right, cool. So this is the data type that decision stores that page data to link it to the folder. So which is good news because then what that means is I can set this up dynamically. And I could say, okay, let's, instead of grabbing the folder, I actually want to grab the page data type, which you can, that's just data you can fetch. And then I'm going to close this, add another filter, and I'll say the entity folder ID, because that's where this page data lives. And so now I can say, hey, pass in that default folder ID first, and then we go to default folder ID. And then now what should happen, yeah, I know, it's we'll call this page results. And then I save this. And now I believe what should happen is if I run this, it didn't have any results. Let's look, see. No results for page data. I wonder if because the type didn't change. It doesn't look like the type changed. Oh, that's why it didn't. Page data. Yeah, weird. Okay, it just didn't take. Strange. Now let's try one more time because I believe entity folder ID. And this is going to be page results. Page entity results. And now if I debug this, boom, and it finds my page, here we go, boom, group A data page, and it finds where that's stored. And so then I can just, instead of having to statically code this, you can create this type of logic to fetch all of the pages inside. And then you could say, okay, cool, I want to choose the
A
first one.
specific page, yeah.
Exactly, then you can make it a variable. If I can find it. It was just here. Entity name, entity description. I think I grabbed the wrong variable. Page entity results. Let me go to first. And then it should page data pass shows, there we go, page name. And there we go. And then it dynamically will add that. Okay, cool. If I run this, this flow, it will then navigate. Let's test it out. It should navigate me to that page. So if I go to get default run, boom, see? And then it automatically, dynamically, boom, sends me to this page. So that's how that stuff would work. I'm for it.
Okay, but and again, if I wanted to use the other way, which is the navigate folder, the name of the page would be group space A.
Yeah, so the page, to find what that page name is, it's just this. See on the top right of my screen?
Yeah.
That's just group A, yeah, group space A space page. And then if I wanted to go to this view, I would type in folder space view. And so that's what
Okay.
page name means.
But the parameter in the navigate folder asks for a page name. The page name would be up there, group space A space page,
Correct. That's the
not
page name.
not just group space A.
Correct. That's the folder name.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. There was one other question about the logging in as. Is that like a
Oh, yeah.
setting?
Yeah, so log in as, I have to look this one up, but yes, we do have this capability to log in as.
I do it on my live, but I can't do it on test.
Log in as. Well, integrating with a Twitter account. That's old. Where is that login as? I think it's called impersonation. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Impersonation. Account impersonation. There we go. So let's see. Deactivate accounts under the administrative navigation system. Create and then okay. So select account. Gotcha. So let me see if I can do that. Except the problem is accounts. So you do this from this here. So let me create a new account. I'm going to say this is my group A account. I'll say group A at aaa.com. And then super secret password. Darn it, it's got to be secret. It's got to be a little bit complex. And then if I just say, hey, you're only a part of that group. Oh, that's it. You're just part of all users. No, all users are just fine. Create account. And then with my project, let me add remove accounts to here. Okay, so now we got it a part of that. So now we have to go back and then let me enable edit account. I think it's like account impersonation.
Yeah, it's down below. Right
Down.
there somewhere. Right
Yep.
there. So I've added the person that I want to be able to impersonate the user. But when you go to actually go to try to use it, the impersonate feature is not there. So if you go up to the little upper right corner where the little person icon is, so you have account impersonation. That's not it. What we're looking for is something called log on is as log in as.
Correct.
And that's
Well,
not
logged in.
appearing in my test, but it is in my live. So I thought there was a setting for that.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering, there's a, you go ahead.
I know how to add, impersonation to a user so that somebody else, that's all done. I just need the menu item to appear to actually log in as somebody.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, it says allows an administrator to grant one account the ability to assume the condition. Okay. Edit. And so, yeah, I should be able to impersonate.
Jeremy from the chat is saying to refresh the page.
Oh, thank you. That's a smart idea. And then can I log in? Oh, there you go. Log in as. That's all it was. Okay.
So where'd you do? Because I have a user and I have me as the person who wants to impersonate. but yet
Uh-huh.
I don't have the login as. What did you do to get the menu item to appear?
I just had to refresh, and then I can say, can I stop? Oh yeah, I want to stop impersonating.
Oh,
So
there it is.
yeah,
Yeah, I just refreshed.
I like it. Jeremy
Okay.
McNeil with
Yeah,
the tip.
saves the
Thanks,
day
man.
again. All right.
Exactly.
I'm good. Thank you.
Perfect. My pleasure. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've used that. All right, cool. So that answers those questions. Answer this one. Answer this one. And then it's working with what? Is there a way to interact with lists without looping through them, like removing the first letter of every item without looping? That's a good question. Let's dive into that, Alexander. So if I go here, so you want to loop. So wait, I'm trying to think. You want to loop.
I want to not loop at all. I want to avoid the for each loop as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because, performance.
Yep, totally understand. Is there a way to interact with lists without looping them? Is it because you're trying to get like one specific item?
No, I'm doing a cleanup on some of the data. Like, for instance, in my use case, I have a bunch of these files, but all the files
Mhm.
have this prefix on it, the exact same prefix. It's like numbers and then an underscore, then the actual file name. Well, I want to get rid of the underscore and the numbers ahead of it.
Mm,
But I don't want to loop through literally
sure.
thousands of files for performance reasons. So
No, that makes sense. I'm trying to think of what would be the best way to handle that.
Does the order of the records matter, Alexander?
not at all.
I'm thinking run flows for list, wait, and async behavior split up over threads.
You could. I mean, essentially that's still looping it,
It
but
is kind of still looping it.
but the advantage of that is now you can set that up in a different work queue. But like, do you want that data back, don't you, Alexander? Like it's like I removed the prefix. I need all
Oh
that
yeah,
list data back.
because I'm gonna need it back so I can then place it in its proper folder.
Hmm. Yeah, so I don't think, let's do this one, test this thing. And if I do, because if we go through, if we just need to, let's look at some list stuff. List add item, list clear, list of folders. I'm silly. Yeah, there's a filter list step. What version are you running in decisions?
I just upgraded to 9.4. Hopefully in the future we'll
I
be
think you have this
more
step.
up to date. But wouldn't the filter list filter it?
Yeah.
I don't want to filter. I actually want to change the data
Well, I'm
inside.
wondering. Let me. Oh man, how do we change the data? I feel like we're somewhere close. It's like, maybe it is just a run flows. I think maybe your best bet is to run flows. I just thought there was something better. Where if you do run flows for list, right? If we have the runs flows for list, and then instead of running it synchronously, run it async and wait. And then what you do is you can create your own queue or how many, and then run on a different queue, and you can create different threads to run it as. And then async and wait, it will still output the data, and it will wait till all of the threads are done, and then it will output that data for you. But that would be the best performant way to do it. It's still kind of like a loop, but it's a loop that you can add queues and make sure that it actually runs
What is
more
run
performant.
flows for list? Do I have to like go in, is that like a sub flow or something?
Yeah, so basically how the run flows for lists works, we even have a great video over this. Where is it?
I mean, I get the threading piece of it. Like, it's going to be running on
Yeah.
the thread. It's going to be doing it at all at the same time. You're going to have four batches at a time. I just
Hmm.
don't get the list part of this, right?
Yeah, basically it just says I have a flow that I'm going to run for every element in that list. It's essentially a for each loop, but it's without the performance baggage of the for each. And so let's say I want to output file data, right? So I'm going to put input data, output data, and then I have this edit, this flow that's tied to this step. Then when I run this, I could say, hey, strip characters, right? And then I can strip case insensitivity, characters to strip, I don't know, 123 underscore. Let's say you have that on there. And then I pass in the file name or whatever piece of data I'm coming in. And then once you strip those characters, then you just rename the file data and you pass it back out. And then what happens is all your elements are going to run this flow and it will strip that data and then output that list of file data for you or that updated file data for you. And then you can restore that.
There's probably going to be like multiple areas where I'm going to probably have to do something like this. For instance, like getting the data itself, I
Mm-hmm.
can get the list, which is good. But when I add the item, adding that, you can only add one file at a time in the settings currently. You can't like
Oh, you're talking about
add a
like how, okay, so it's not just cleaning the data, it's also reposting the data.
yeah, so I was thinking like so I'm probably gonna do something like
Um,
this for that as well here too. So is it good
mhm.
is it better to like separate this and like have like for each piece that's going to be like doing work should have its own like asynchronous not asynchronous. Is it? Yeah, asynchronous flow that's running on its own? Or should I just put it all under one thing?
I would say put it all into one thing. So basically what you do is you would clean up that data and then go ahead and post it back to the SharePoint. Clean up that data, post it back to Share. So basically you would have a runs flows
Hmm.
for list. And what would happen here is set it to async and wait. And then what you do here is then you just configure this to say, hey, strip the characters that I want. And then if I go to all steps and integrations and then go to SharePoint and then I want to add that data back in, then you can add that document, you know, back in and then just have some error handling that can tell you which documents failed if any of them failed. But essentially this would be some sort of the logic where you would say, hey, all of the logic to clean up the names of the files would all run in the run flows for list. And then it would also do the storing piece too as well. And just go ahead and do that.
Gotcha. Okay, so that'd be the most performant way to do it.
Correct. This would be the most performant way to do it.
Okay, cool. I think that's everything. Thank you.
Awesome. My pleasure. Alrighty. Any other questions? Alrighty. I don't see any other questions, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up and we'll just get this uploaded. Thank you so much for attending. Great questions. Appreciate you guys joining. Let's see that today is our last lunch and learn for this week. So our lunch and learns will start up next week. Please attend those. We'll be more than happy to assist you in any way that we can. Please like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube channel, and also join marketplace.decisions.com. But thank you so much for attending, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.